Hello, welcome back to Joellen's Kitchen. I just like to let you know that today we're going to make old-fashioned SandTarts. That's right, they're Pennsylvania Dutch. But there's two kinds. The one is a rolled out SandTart, the other is a drop SandTart. I've never been able to roll them out thin enough so they get crispy and just the way my husband likes them, quite frankly. So I'm going to try this recipe for drop SandTarts. It was given to me by a friend and it was her mother's. And I already have measured out 2 cups of flour, and we need 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. And I'm going to use a measuring spoon, which I don't normally do, but again, I've not had real good luck with making SandTarts, so I want to try and follow the recipe exactly. And we're going to put in 1 1/2 cups of sugar. And I'm going to mix that up a bit. Okay, now just 2 eggs, simple as that. It's a very simple recipe. It doesn't have a lot of ingredients. That's 1. And 2. And then the next ingredient is 1/2 pound of butter, and I actually bought real butter. I know there's a little salt in there, and we're not adding salt, so I thought it was important to use the kind with the salt because cookies do tend to need a little bit of salt. And then 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. And that is it, my friends. We just now have to make sure it is really mixed good. It's going to be a really stiff recipe. And that's okay. That's the way it's supposed to be. No other liquids go into this. It's the butter that's going to be melting into the flour and the sugar and making it a SandTart. And the other trick, I guess, is that when we get them out of the oven, we're going to be cooling them on a piece of wax paper. That way you can get them up without breaking them. So we'll get there. We'll just keep working this until we get it all mixed just right. And I found this to be a manageable recipe with just 2 people. All those cookies are not good for us. So a lot of cookie recipes call for like 3 and 4 cups of sugar. So I think this is a manageable sized recipe. Of course, bigger families can always increase the dosage there and double up on the ingredients and make a big batch. I think I'm going to get in there with my hands a little bit, make sure I get all the flour off the bottom. Should take off my ring. There we go. Yes, there is definitely flour on the bottom yet. I'm glad I got that in there. Okay, it does call for greasing your cookie sheets, so I'm just going to spray some ham on there. Make sure my cookies don't stick. And it's called a drop SandTart cookie recipe for a reason, because we're going to get a teaspoon of dough, and again it's very thick, and we are going to drop that onto the baking sheet. One of the things you might want to gather up while your cookies are baking, of course, is to have something to put on top for decoration and added taste. A lot of people like those little sprinkle colored sugar things, and that's fine. But I always like cinnamon, so I got some cinnamon sugar And I'm going to sprinkle mine with cinnamon sugar. Just think that gives it a better taste myself. Of course, it's up to your preference. Or if the kids like the pretty colors of the colored sugar, that's fine too. And of course, you're going to want to store the cookies flat. And I always find a baggie is just perfect. You can lay them in there and seal it so they don't get stale. Some people put them into wax paper lined cardboard boxes. Whatever is your preference, that's fine. I do have my oven preheating at 350 degrees, so we have a nice even temperature when we put these in to bake them at. With a gas oven, I often don't have to preheat it a long time because it doesn't take long. I just put the stuff in right away. But again, with these cookies, I am really trying to follow the rules. I tend to break the rules, so I really like to follow the rules and make sure that I get a decent SandTart finally. I'm hoping that's what happens anyhow. We will find out probably in about 10 minutes or so, because this tray of cookies is about ready to go into the oven. I'll be back to show you the results. Okay, we got the SandTarts out of the oven, and we're now going to sprinkle them with cinnamon sugar. They did rise up, so I'm thinking they're going to go flat as they cool. Okay, they all have a little cinnamon sugar on. Hopefully that'll stick. And we're just going to get our cookies off and put them on the wax paper to cool. And we'll get the rest of them onto the cookie sheet. It looks like it's going to make about 3 dozen cookies, so that's a nice number. Pretty darn good. Hope you enjoy.